Through the generous contribution of Dr. Lewis's family, we're very fortunate to be able to share with you these timeless recordings of Dr. M. W. Lewis, a self-realized American yogi. Dr. Lewis was Paramahansa Yogananda's first American disciple and dearest personal friend. The wisdom Dr. Lewis imparts through these teachings will give you a dynamic and practical insight into the ancient science of yoga as taught by Paramahansa Yogananda. This lecture's title is God's Boatman and was delivered in Hollywood, California on March the 9th, 1958.
The subject, as you know this morning, God's Boatman, which means none other than the Guru. As I think back over the years, since I had the great privilege of meeting the Master, of course I remember his great profound wisdom, his great love and such things, but he had one other side which was very comforting. He had a great humor, and many of the time he has had us on the floor rolling around listening to his stories. And why not? Because his Master said that this religion isn't a funeral procession, and he was like that. And in the little talk which I'll give you this morning, I haven't much chance to tell a story, so I'm going to tell it in the first place. Because I know until I get it off my chest, I'll not be able to tell you much else. It happened last night. I was thinking, laying in bed, some little story I could tell, and I have some stories there, but I found this one. And it struck me so funny that I called up Mrs. Lewis on the, in the communication system, and I couldn't find the button, so I was pressing several, and finally the voice answered, and I thought it was she. And I said, listen to this, and I told the story, and suddenly the voice said, well, who did you want? I said, well, isn't this you? No, this is so-and-so over on the other side. Well, then I told her, and she had got awake enough, and she appreciated it, and I said, I'm sorry to wake up. I thought it was the other. She says, oh, that's fine, because I hadn't gone to bed anyway. So then, not finding, getting hold of Mrs. Lewis, I got out of bed and went downstairs. I said, listen to this. And this is what I told her. I wish now, said the lecturer, to tax your memory. Someone in the audience let out a wail. Has it come to that? But it just struck me in a peculiar way. Someone let out a wail in the audience. Has it come to that? So the taxes are really catching up with us. But it certainly brought back to me memories of the Master. And when he really did get you started on the story, he didn't let up until you were on the floor rolling around. And he knew how to do it. And so our subject this morning, God's Boatman, refers, of course, to none other than the Guru, the one who comes from God's great consciousness and compassion and love for his children to bring the lost souls back home to God. And a true boatman is one who is filled with compassion that has no limit. Such was the Master, such was his great love. And as a tribute to him on this occasion of his Mahasamadhi, I'd like to read just a little of his poem, God's Boatman. And in that you will find, I'm sure, his wonderful spirit. He says, I want to ply my boat many times across the gulf after death and return to earth's shores from my home in heaven. I want to load my boat with those waiting, thirsty ones who are left behind, and to carry them by the opal pool of iridescent joy, where my Father distributes his all desire-quenching liquid peace. Oh, I will come again and again, crossing 1,000,000 crags of suffering. With bleeding feet I will come, if need be 1,000,000,000,000 times, so long as I know one stray brother is left behind. Such was the wonderful spirit of our Master. I want thee, O Lord, he goes on, that I may give thee to all. Free me then, O God, from the bondage of the body, that I may show others how they can free themselves. I want thine everlasting bliss only, that I may share it with others, that I may show all my brothers the way to happiness, forever and forever in thee. There you have a real picture of the Master. Not coming once, but coming eternally until all are gathered into the great net of God's love, carried over to the great sea of cosmic consciousness, far beyond this duality of trouble and delusion in which we find ourselves. And so, we must realize there's a great difference between teachers and a guru. It is necessary to point this out. When you have, so to speak, vague desires to know the truth, then you are sent teachers, or you read books, or you join societies. But when that great desire of the heart comes, when you've reached your limit of endurance of this delusion and really mean business with God, then he sends you one of his boatmen to ferry you across to the great sea of peace and bliss. And that boatman is the guru. And that guru is, or comes to you because of spiritual law. It does not just happen. That guru comes to you in response to your soul's cry. That comes as a special consideration from God himself. And that's why we must realize how fortunate we are that somehow we here in this room and many, many others are drawn to this path, because millions of people cannot even think of what we're thinking. It does not enter their mind. And so I consider myself